everyone. Welcome. This is the last episode of Success Studio Live. I've retired it and I'm only going to be doing my podcast, which is called Grasp Confidence. It's now available on Apple Podcast. But thank you, everyone, this afternoon or morning, depending on what side of the United States or world you are on. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing the one and the only Bashia Richard, who is an amazing stylist out of Los Angeles, California. And the topic of today is how to style with confidence. Hi, Bashia. Thank you so
Hi,
much for coming to the show.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good, good. So, you and I, this is not our first show. I've interviewed you in the past, and people really resonate with personal style. And I do as well. In the era of personal branding, when everybody is developing and harnessing their personal brands and making them memorable, we can't forget style as a component in that. Isn't that right?
Well, definitely personal style is part of your brand. And as you know, we get really between 7 to 12 seconds to make that first impression, which is so important. So before we even say something, people will have we create perception of who we are and what we represent. So what we wear actually really matters. More importantly, how we feel about what we wear is probably even more important. So I always say clothes are not as important as how you feel wearing those particular clothes. So whether you wear a dress or pants, that's not as important as like your preference, how you feel and how you want to be seen and perceived by others.
Yes, how you want to be seen and perceived as. It's so key and so crucial,
Mhm.
right? And it's a part of our personal brand that I feel like a lot of people overlook, but it's a huge part of it. How do you want to be perceived? That's, when I think of a company that's developing a brand, they are aligning with their target audience, aren't they?
Mhm.
It's kind of the same thing when you have a personal brand. You're aligning with your target audience. You want to make sure you're perceived well in that target audience's eyes, that there's respect, there's trust there's congruency as well.
Mhm.
I think that's another thing that we don't talk about enough is the congruency of style. And sometimes that is a staple, something that you're known for and has, right? Red lipstick for me, button up shirts for you, my friend.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Badina and I see you every time with the bright lips, and I kind of put like two together, right? I can tell this is Tara. She always has a bright lips. If you didn't wear a bright lips, I'll be like, what happened today? Yeah.
Absolutely. It's now
Mhm.
a staple. So I
It is.
can't go out of the house without it, right?
Yes.
People expect it. It's kind of funny how that happens with your personal style. And the thing of it is, I don't care if this is a fad or a fashion or if it's not. Quite
Mhm.
frankly, Bashia, wearing, bright red lipstick makes me feel confident. So
Mhm.
I'm going to do it.
Well, it also, I think it's not a question also of a trend, but also what works specifically for you. So the red lipstick might not be in trend, like you said, but I always say if it works for you, if you actually look good in red lipstick, you should wear it. It's amazing how a lot of women don't give each other so much credit for their intuition, because a lot of time I work with women and their intuition is spot on and they really question themselves, like, should I wear this, should I not wear it, is it the right color, is it the right silhouette? I'm like, you are spot on, you're actually wearing the correct colors, you're actually wearing good silhouettes. So a lot of women use the intuition and they see really really well on a mirror themselves, how do they look, how does whatever they are wearing, for you it's a lipstick, for somebody else can be different silhouettes, dress, whatever it is, colors, and they don't give each other enough credit, and then in their intuition a lot of times correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, listen to your intuition. And I have it. We all have it, Basha. I have closet with plenty of outfits in there that I'm not sure why I bought, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I bought them because you know what? They may have looked cute on the hanger, or they may have looked cute on somebody else, and then I buy it and it doesn't. The silhouette, the hemline, whatever it is, does not make sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that ends up, you know, we don't wear it because we're not confident, right? It doesn't make us feel confident, but it's also a lot of wasted money that happens there, right? Don't you think?
A lot, time and money.
Mm.
So many times what happens is those type of purchases are sort of like last moment. You are attending conference, you have nothing to wear, or you open a closet, you think you don't have anything to wear, even though you have a closet full of clothes. So then what happens, you run to the store, you try to buy something you wear at one time, and then where am I going to buy it again? So a lot of times is that compulsive kind of shopping, without really planning your wardrobe with keeping your lifestyle in mind, keeping what you're doing within a week and month. I always tell my clients, don't buy anything until you kind of figure out what your style is, and if you're going to wear that piece that you're about to invest in more than one time, or this is just something that you're just going to wear to the conference and then what, right? So yeah, it's a lot of waste time, a lot of money, and a lot of stress. It's so much stress because you run into the store, you don't know what you need to buy. Like, am I going to be overdressed, underdressed? What should I buy? Is it look good on me? So then you look at mannequin. Oh, this looks kind of cool. So then you put it on. It's never going to look the same, right? You can take an inspiration. You can look at it. This is kind of cool. I kind of like an idea. Maybe I will switch the top. Maybe I wear a different color. Maybe a print is not working, but I kind of it's a good starting point. But again, it's never going to be the same. You're never going to feel the same. Different body shapes, different. We just have different styles, different aesthetics. There's so many different factors that goes into it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
mhm,
It is. And we've been talking behind the scenes.
mhm.
I've got my TEDx talk coming up, and I know I'm
Yay!
really excited about it.
You know?
Um, the way I like to dress, if I'm on stage, I like a vintage kind of look. I
Mhm,
love that. And part of that is like the red lipstick, dark hair. I like that like 1940s kind of vibe. I just do.
mhm,
So it makes me feel confident, right? It's
mhm.
like a vintage kind of sassy Jackie O even sometimes.
I know.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
saw the dress. I know.
You've seen the dress. Nobody else has seen the dress. You have had that backstage look into what the dress is, but you helped me convince me that yep, I was right on target, right?
Mhm,
But then I got the dress and oh my gosh, I love it. I love the color. I think it's very memorable. But when we're building this personal brand and when we're styling with confidence, it's memorable too, right,
mhm,
Asha? You especially something like if you're on stage and if it's a big, like, life-changing thing, you wanna make sure that it's memorable and it's different
mhm,
so that you don't blend in with the rest of the crowd, right? You wanna stand
mhm.
out a little bit, right?
Standing out, so really thinking about this in a more strategic way.
Mm,
So think about, what is my role at that conference? Am I going as a speaker? Am I going as a participate in the audience? Obvious, 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 obviously, sorry, obviously you don't want to be overdressed, underdressed. You want to be dressed
right.
just right and feel comfortable. Again, I hear so many times, I want to feel comfortable. I don't want to wear super high heels. Oh my gosh, all day. I want to feel good, but I don't want to, I don't want my wardrobe to kind of get in the way of meeting people, doing business, presenting myself, things like that. So, I always say, if you want to stand out, use color. Color is a really good way to sort of bring people in. And I use a lot of color. I'm an introvert. Not a person who likes to go to parties and say hi to everybody, but I use my wardrobe to actually bring people in. People would come, oh my gosh, I love this dress. Where did you get it? Such a great start of the conversation. I would come to you. I love your presentation. I love the dress. You look so amazing. It's such a, kind of back and forth fun conversation about style that can lead into something else. So I always say use color, but also think about what is your role, because you don't want to be overdressed. A lot of people say, like, do I wear jeans? Is it comfortable? Is it like appropriate to wear jeans? But I also, you don't want to be over the top and overdressed either. So it's just the fine line. There's a fine line between it.
I know
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you're talking about. First off, the people that definitely should be dressed up a little bit more, and you're like,
Yes.
come on. And then there's the people that are way overdressed. And you know
Mm-hmm.
what's interesting? When somebody is way overdressed, it's a little uncomfortable.
It's intimidating,
It
right?
is, yeah.
It
It's
is. You kind of feel
uncomfortable.
like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm kind of scared. This is
Yes.
not right. Something is off, but you don't always think about that is actually what a person is wearing. I kind of feel scared of that person, right?
I never thought about
Mm-hmm.
that until you said
Mm-hmm.
that, but it's so right on. It is intimidating. So,
Mm-hmm.
how we dress is almost like a signaling process to another
Mm-hmm.
person
Yeah.
that says, "Hey, I'm open to conversation," or "I'm closed off. I'm, in some other category," right? So, that is interesting. Like, and using color, not necessarily overdressing, but using color as a method to
Mm-hmm.
kind of start a conversation, I think is really cool too. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I usually, I would usually wear black because I blend in. So this is my strategy. So if I had to go with my husband to one of some kind of events for his work, I would wear black because I just want to go there, do the thing, and leave. I'm not gonna do any networking, anything like that. But if I go to a networking event, if I go to any type of event when I'm gonna meet new people, maybe create new relationships, I want to look where I'm approachable and people gonna come and say hi to me. I don't want to blend in. So obviously I'm not gonna be wearing super bright yellow color, but I'm gonna make sure that I wear an outfit that's gonna bring people to me, as opposed to me going and saying hello to somebody else.
That's like the ultimate introvert hack.
Yes, it's totally.
I've never heard of it. Like, you are dropping so much wisdom here. That is the ultimate introvert hack. If you're an
Yeah.
introvert, wear a bright color and people
Yeah.
come to you. You don't have to
Mhm.
worry about going to them. I love that. That's so great. And patterns, I could assume, could potentially be a good conversation starter as well, right?
Yeah, patterns are tricky. We have to be very careful. So if you pick patterns, smaller patterns, something that's modern, not literal. I always tell my clients, you don't want to wear a literal pattern and print. So if you wear, let's say, floral prints, don't just have a print with tons of roses that could be standing in your kitchen counter, beautiful roses on your top or sweater. Just look for something that's a little bit more modern. It's a little more abstract, and that way you have a beautiful pattern, but it makes this whole look a little bit more up to date, not very, like, dated and old. So yeah.
That is good wisdom too,
Hmm.
But I love that. So, style, we've learned it can be a conversation starter. A color alone can be a conversation starter. Dress to the occasion. Don't overdress, don't underdress,
Hmm.
right? So, and either one can be not, lead to a good conversation, but especially if you're overdressing, it can be extremely intimidating for other
Hmm.
people. And ultimately it kind of shuts the door on a lot of potential for networking. So make sure
Yeah.
not to overdress and be, a little aware. And that's where I'm a big believer in third party validation. So
Hmm.
have a trusted advisor, somebody that's a trusted friend of yours that has some fashion sense. That's why I have Basha that can
But
help, right?
this is a tricky slope because
Ooh,
a lot of people might not be very objective. And this is where the problem always lies. I always tell my clients, you have to learn how to dress yourself with confidence. So you trust your own skills as opposed to calling your friend who might not want to tell you that this dress is hideous or it doesn't look good, or maybe try something else. I try to be very gentle with clients, but always my clients tell me that they appreciate my honesty. And I try to be as honest, as gentle as I can, especially when they wear something and I'm like, well, maybe try something else. This is not the best. And try to find those words that are not very hurtful, obviously. But this is where it's tricky, because how do you know that that person kind of knows, or gives you, good, there's a good intention, I'm sure, behind it. But I think trusting yourself and having those skills is probably more important than relying on, I don't know, Pinterest looks or copying mannequins, or actually asking your trusted friend.
And that's what I think is cool about, me picking out that Ted dress,
Mm-hmm.
is that I picked it out and I said, you know what? I would look really confident in that. I love the color. Let's see what Bashia thinks, right? Just to make sure. But I trust your opinion, obviously, because you're on a different level when it comes to style than most people. So, it's good. It's good. But, you immediately came back and you were like, yep, that's it. And it
Yeah,
was nice because I wasn't swimming in like self-doubt, and then I was like, all right, well, worst comes to worst, I'll just buy it. I can return it if
right.
it doesn't work, but it looked really, really good. You've got a good eye, my friend.
That was it's a really good dress. I love, so I'm going to say this. I love that you pick longer hem
Yes.
below the knee hem. It's a beautiful modern silhouette, like you said, like that Jackie O. It's going to be a really good look for you. Now it's just a question of small accessories and you're good to go.
Yes. So the dress is like an emerald green color.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different. So yeah, I'm thinking something classic, elegant with that. Maybe some emerald green, uh, slightly dangly earrings, maybe. I don't know.
You don't have to. So I would do probably just the simpler. You can do silver or gold. You
Okay.
don't have to do the color on the earrings. Actually, color would be good on, like, if you want to add emerald to something that's going to be more toned down. So let's say that you're wearing a black dress, then add a pop of color here, because that's going to be a nice kind of contrast. Otherwise, you can wear it. It depends on what the earring looks like again. But it's actually good idea to make it a contrast, do a contrast, because the more contrast you see in the outfit, the more modern and kind of stylish that look is.
Oh, well,
Mhm.
that's what's next on our plate then is
Uh-huh.
accessories.
Accessories.
I thought I had it figured out. But typically I like to go, I'm a little bit more boring with jewelry. I like to, just have, I'm not flashy, right? So I don't
Hmm.
typically wear a lot of jewelry. But I stick to, the natural kind of look, which would be gemstones
Hmm.
more. I don't do a lot of flash, but I also have to keep that in mind that I want to stand out, right? And be a little distinctive. So I'll have to think about that and work around that, I guess. It's a good tip though.
Yeah, nothing too literal. So no, don't do any like art deco or anything like that, because the dress is already kind of tipping into 1960s. So
Hmm.
what you want to do is to create a more contemporary look, and with jewelry that are contemporary, you will create this whole outfit more modern. Jewelry can make it, especially like the one that's more vintage and things like that. That look can make it a little bit more um, dated. So I would pick modern jewelry.
I like that. I
Okay.
like that. So smart. But yeah, it's all about, figuring out what makes you look confident, because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, especially, as a speaker, if I'm on stage, I have to exude confidence. It
Mhm.
has to be like oozing out of me, because if it's not, the audience feels it, right? And
Mhm.
that's one thing that I've realized. is that confidence is like a huge trust builder, because in business, if you're confident, that other person believes in you so much more, right?
Mhm.
So if you're in a business exchange with a client or partner or investor and you're really confident, guess what? They're going to feel confident
That's right.
giving you money or giving you whatever in
Mhm.
exchange, right? The same thing as a professional speaker when you're on stage. My saying is, what I tell people that I work with, CEOs, getting on stage and that sort of thing, is that you have to just exude that confidence, right? And it just, you have to be able to captivate that audience.
Mhm.
It's so important, don't you think?
Absolutely. Your confidence comes when within, right? So when you wear something that you are so happy with, that it's just a um, natural progress that's going to happen. If you're not sure what you're wearing or you're questioning yourself, that's when that confidence is not going to come through. So again, what we wear outside from what everybody thinks, we have to be super confident and super comfortable with,
Yeah.
and then everything else is going to be definitely so much easier. Obviously you have to be prepared, but still, if you don't have that confidence, you don't feel comfortable, it's not going to be easier, maybe I put it this way.
Absolutely. And I believe, if you charge $10,000, you know what you should look like? You charge 50,000.
50,000. Yeah. So I always say, if you want to be CEO, let's say like in 5 years, you have to start dressing it like now.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
don't start dressing as a CEO when you're CEO. You have to start thinking about it now. You become a leader in a company, you going up the ladder, start looking into how I'm being perceived, how I dress, what's my brand, how do I dress for it, and just stick to it.
Absolutely. Start dressing. It's that whole dress for the role you want, not the role you have.
Yes, exactly.
I think,
Just for the mhm.
yeah, it's like an old adage, but you know what? We need to bring it back because a lot of people aren't dressing for that role that they really want, right? So the
Mhm.
same thing as speakers, and I see this a lot. Again, if you charge 10,000, you better look like you should charge 50. You have to give that audience a perceived value,
Mhm.
right? To where you're on stage, you're delivering a speech, and they say, I got a bargain.
Mhm.
And when you raise your prices, it's not shocking. It's actually expected.
It is expected. Yes, it's the whole the whole look, and then building a brand and showing up a little bit sloppy, maybe I would call it. It's not really a mirror to who you are and how you want to be perceived. So again, those two are very much connected.
Absolutely. I just don't think enough people talk about these correlations, with
Hmm.
personal branding and personal style and confidence. It all goes into each other and they're all related. So that's why, I like so much what you're doing, Basha, is you're really educating your audience as well and your clients the same, of how, they can basically expand their own potential.
Hmm.
And just giving them the tools to do it and the confidence to do it and showing them that, hey, with a few tweaks here and there, oh my gosh, you can really skyrocket your brand, right?
Hmm. It's like you said, it's always small little tweaks. It's rarely a big overhaul. It's really a small little change that can really bring such a big return. I always say, like, investing in your style is kind of ROI, right?
Mm,
What is that going to be your ROI? If you feel confident, if you show up to clients who respect you, who see you as a leader, as you have a strong brand, and it's all going to bring you a return for sure. Yes.
absolutely, right? It again builds that
Mm-hmm.
trust.
Builds trust. Mm-hmm.
Builds trust, starts relationships, starts conversations. We've learned that. It's also, people tend to gravitate toward confident people. I've realized that, so confidence is a success magnet. It's like such a huge hack, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, people talk a lot about how to get successful, and there's uh, thousand thousands of books out there of how to become successful. But let's also talk about, the foundation of success, which is really confidence. And
Mm-hmm.
how do you build confidence? Well, it's your personal style. It's staying true to yourself, following
Mm-hmm.
your authenticity too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing that I like about what you do is you really help people identify their authenticity and their authentic style. What's really representative of them. So, for example, it wouldn't make sense for somebody that's boho chic to wear a suit.
100%. Yes. So when I start with working with clients, we always starting to, I kind of get to know who they are.
Hmm.
And I always tell my clients, I work with so many people over the years that I learn how to become you and understand you, understand your aesthetics, understand where we should be shopping, what would you wear or would you not wear. So if I look online, I'm like, this is Tara. Oh my gosh, I see her wearing this look. This is definitely her. And then when you wear something, you want to feel, oh, this is so me. I love this. This is so me. This is what the kind of outcome is. When you wear something, you want to feel, this is me. This is me. Doesn't matter what it is. This is me. I feel like this is 100% who I am, and what I wear represent 100% who I am. So, finding that, digging into your aesthetics, understanding who you are, what makes you, what you're being drawn to. That's why we talked about your lipstick, me and my button-up shirts. When you're shopping online, why do I don't like something and I wear the same thing? Well, because you're being drawn to specific silhouettes, specific looks. And if this is what you like I only have t-shirts and button-up shirts. That's it. Because I just love it so much. I'm not going to force myself to wear something else because this is who I am. This
Yep.
is, my classic silhouettes with a little bit of prints and a little bit of fun twists. And this is my sort of like an aesthetic. This is who I am. So yeah.
I love that. My weekend kind of half dress up, half kind of
Uh-huh.
not is a t-shirt, plain t-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
skinny or jeans, kind of whatever, but with high heels. I just
Oh.
love that look. It's so cool. It's so
Mm-hmm.
classic. But it gives me that little, feel of, hey, I'm being stylish, but also very comfortable.
Comfortable. Mm-hmm.
Right? So find those things. For me, it's t-shirts as well. I love them. And when I find a t-shirt that I really like, gosh, it's like every color. I just, find that style that fits you, that makes you look
Mm-hmm.
good. Um,
Definitely.
but I love this conversation, Basia. It's always great to talk to you. But I want to help more people develop their style with confidence. So you're the best person for that. How can everybody get a hold of you?
They can go on LinkedIn and book a call with me. That's probably the easiest way, or just send me a DM. There's a link in my bio and in feature section. We just have a conversation. I can help you. If I'm not a good fit, I'm gonna let you know who is and where to find the resources. And that's the first step.
Perfect. Awesome. And you work with high profiled women who are
I
entrepreneurs and corporate executives, right?
Yes, exactly. So I work with corporate professionals and successful entrepreneurs. So the ones who maybe already got a promotion, and suddenly they have to do a lot of meetings, conferences, their schedule changed, their position also changed, and the style does not really match their success. They don't feel like their clothes and their wardrobe is representing of who they became. And we have a clothes from teenage or university years, and I've seen those closets so many times. And it's time to start dressing for who you become, who you are. So
I love that. Ooh, we could talk about this all day. But
yes.
thank you so much, Basia. And I will say one more thing. You know, in my book, The Grass Method, I talk about sight. So sight is huge. It's visualizing that most confident version of yourself. What do they look like? What do they wear? And you
Mm-hmm.
know what? You start really getting granular and about what they look like, and you start taking the steps
Mm-hmm.
to look like
Like
them,
them.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's all visualize it today. Take some time out. Visualize what that most confident version of yourself looks like, what they dress, what they wear, and make steps to be that confident person that you're envisioning yourself to be, everybody. I love it.
That's right. That's
Thank you
right.
so much. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much again for
Yeah,
having me.
absolutely. And until next time, we will catch you on the next episode.